Hello and welcome to Watch Our Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandliker. Joining me today is the one and only Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Hi, Ben.
What is new with you? Happy Monday.
Thank you. Happy Monday to you. It's been a crazy weekend in America in general, and it's a crazy weekend on television. I can't believe that Jersey and House of the Dragon are on the same trajectory. There's only the same amount of episodes left per season of each thing on our Sunday nights. I don't know what they're trying to do to us, but it's fucking with me. It's fucking with me, Ben.
Is it true? Are there really only 2 episodes left of Jersey?
Yeah, this was episode number. Well,
11,
actually, I think maybe
11.
there's only one more episode than of Jersey. I think next week is the last one.
No, they didn't say. It didn't say
So it would
next
be
week
2.
the season finale.
So then there's 2 left, and then there's 2
Honestly,
left of House of the Dragon as well. Yeah, I guess.
So, well, because they're teasing that they're going on this retreat. That in the preview for next week, it's like, well, I found this great house in the Berkshires. So, you know, the rumor is that they go to Dorinda's house because I think there's like a photo of them in the Berkshires. So the implication seems to be almost that maybe the finale is going to happen in the Berkshires. No, because they have no. This can't be because they have their big
It falls through
at Rails.
Yeah, it all falls through. Yeah, they're supposed to go to Dorinda's Berkshire's place, but somehow it all falls through. How does it fall through? We'll have to just keep watching.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I can't. I mean, Bravo has been airing promos that say the final episodes, of the season, and Andy has gone on record saying, there may be a full recast or something like that. Like, obviously the show is in major trouble. There's no reunion. So you do sort of get the sense that, like, it's the final episodes of this season, but it's kind of the final episode of this era of New Jersey. Like,
yeah,
maybe some major players will not be back.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. This will look totally different next year. It's the last of this configuration, which is sad. I know it's toxic. I think it's still good. I laughed the whole time today.
Yeah.
So there you go. But there's that. Also, we did a Love Is Blind season finale recap over on Patreon. What did I say? Love Is Blind.
Yes,
girl. We did a Love Is Blind. We did a Love Island finale episode. Nice long recap. That's over on our Patreon. Go listen. It's been super fun. Thanks for everybody coming on to Patreon for that. We've had a great time. That's also where you'll find this video, all our videos, and all of our bonus episodes. So get your butts over there.
Yeah. And we're going to have Dwell Hello this week, by the way. So stay tuned for that on Wondery Plus. But let's get into Real Housewives of New Jersey Sleepover with One Eye Open, season 14, episode 11.
So they go over to Paul. We go over to Paul and Dolores's, and he's massaging her, and he's like, I don't want you to change your body anymore. She's like, Paul, don't talk about my body anymore. But Dolores, I'm trying to massage you, and every time I get to this part of your back, it opens up and a D battery goes in. Paul, I paid a lot of money for that. All right, it's my right.
Every time I push in over here, a bulge pops up over there. When I push the bulge over there, it pops up over here. Got so much plastic floating around. Be careful, Dolores.
It's called whack-a-mole, Paul. It's like that on purpose. All right, Frank loves it. All right. Don't start with me. I'm from Paterson.
So then we go to the Gorgas, and Joe is cooking with the kids. He's like, hey, this is how you boil water. Hey, fill up the pot, and then you jerk off in it. Hey.
Oh, God, did you see Gorga's thing this week? Oh.
What was his thing this week?
A lot of Jersey stuff came out on social media. Joe Gorga's was one of his pictures, his pictures where he's, this one, he looks kind of like a little thing on top of a car, like a little brand, I guess an ornament. I saw someone say he looks like a hood ornament, which is so fucking rude, but also very funny because it's a luxury car, and he's sitting in front of it. He's like sitting kind of at the hood of it, and it's not like a fish eye thing, so he does look really tiny on this car. But it says something like, real men make women wet. Make women wet, not make them wet in their eyes or something like that. Like real men Make women are trying to find the screenshot. Yeah, make them wet down in the JJs and not in the eyes or something like that. And people gave him so much shit that he had to take it down. Why that one? You know what I mean?
I know that's the one that they object to. I'm just sorry, my mind is wandering because I'm thinking about hood ornaments. We don't really have those anymore, do we?
No, but here's the picture. Ornaments? Do you see it? Here, I'm going to hold it up to the camera. Do you see it now?
Hold on. Let me make it big. Let me make it.
He's kind of grabbing his wiener. It's hard because it's reflecting off my thing,
I see the picture. So. He's like wearing suspenders. He looks like he's like just he just went to a wedding and took a photo afterwards.
Yeah, and it says, real men make your panties wet, not your eyes.
Like Confucius said himself.
And they say he doesn't study history. Come on.
He has a way with words. What can I say? There he is.
There he is. Okay, so that was him. So they also got some kind of cooking ad. Like, you know what real Italians used to cook? This kind of tomato sauce. There he is. So I guess they're leaning into that this week for their home scene. Like, look at us cooking.
Yeah, you got to add a little bit of olive oil to the water because you're Italian. Olive oil is everything. And Joey, did you see that, Joey? And Joey's like, okay, I'll put some water and put it on the stove. Yeah, there it is. Put the water on the stove, Joey.
And Melissa's like they care to boil water. What's wrong with you, Joe? They're men.
They're like, okay, Joe and Melissa, we need to film a scene with you. You guys haven't been in the season very much. Give us something that's like fun, shows a lot of personality. I got an idea. We can boil water. Sure. Okay, fine.
No. Let's do a scene with Antonia going to college. Like, Melissa, please no. Wait, okay. Let's have a scene about how boys don't like cooking, only girls like it.
What if Antonia goes to college and she has to boil water in a dorm? How's that? That could be a good scene. I think we could do that.
Oh, that reminds me. Real men get you hot in your vagina, not in your plate. Eh?
So then we go to Teresa, and she's at home with her dog. She's like, all right, okay, all three of yous. Okay, Molly, I'm mad at you. Bella, I'm mad at you. No more ripping in the garbage. Come on. Here's your chicken collars. Okay, don't do it no more. Okay, Molly, you're a good girl. I mean, Rosie. Oh.
Meanwhile, Louis comes in with a little Bush's baked beans label hanging out of his mouth.
Louis just on there with the dogs, waiting to be fed.
Feeding the wolf tree.
Do you think, naming a dog Rosie, do you think that was Louis's dog, pre-existing dog? Because I can't imagine Teresa ever naming a dog Rosie. Or on the flip side, I can totally see her naming a dog Rosie as an insult to Rosie.
I'll fucking kill her! I'll fucking kill that dog! It's Rosie. Rosie backstage. How could you name your dog after me? So then
Kathy
Jennifer...
McKilley, by the way, Kathy showed up on Watch What Happens Live last week. Did you see that?
No, I saw that she did, but I didn't see the Watch What Happens.
Oh, you just muted yourself by accident, I think.
Oh, no, it was on purpose. I just did it before I finished my word. I have a new mute button, everybody. I'm working on our audio, so I got a new mic, and now I have a mute button that's like you just tap it with your finger. See, so every time I do this, that's what I'm doing. That's why it looks like I'm smoking a cigarette, because I'm tapping the mic. but I haven't gotten the timing down yet.
You're like, I don't think anyone needs to hear the rest of the sentence about Kathy Wakile. But I don't know. I think she moved to Melissa's neighborhood, right? I think that was the big takeaway from that, right?
Melissa said that on Jeff Lewis. She said, he said you still speak with Kathy Wakile? Because I love her. And she's like, well, you know what's so funny? Everybody wants to always move onto my street. Like, before, Teresa moved onto my street, and then now Kathy moved onto my street. And, she got the house with the water. So I guess Kathy got the nicest house on the block or whatever. And so Jeff's like, why don't you become friends? I think they're trying to put Kathy Wakile back on the show, because it's weird that she popped up in Melissa's comments and then she popped up on the show. I mean, that's a lot of Kathy. I got a free cannoli randomly with pizza last week. I feel like even around here, they're kind of pushing Kathy. So
yeah. I just always think about Kathy, her very first scene when she was on that bicycle, riding into town in Franklin. She seems so carefree. She just wanted to cook things, and then she just got chewed up and spat out by Bravo.
Yeah. We'd love that scene. Awesome. That was our Murder, She Wrote with Kathy Wikile. We're like, oh my God, I love this lady, whoever she is.
Okay, so now we go over to Jennifer Aydin, and she goes into a Mediterranean restaurant, and she meets up with her brothers. First of all, we see Michael and Melda. We always have a little check-in with Michael and Melda, and then also, what's the name of her other brother, the gay one?
Steven. Yeah, Steven. Okay. He likes musical theater stuff, and he plays the piano.
Steven. By the way, Jennifer Aydin is slowly turning into Agatha from WandaVision, right? Like, is she not like turning into the neighbor next door? I just came by to give you a little snack. Welcome to the neighborhood, baby. Like, she's becoming, her confessionals are so over the top now, and I love them. I love them so much.
Well, I think that it's funny that this whole season is about like too much violence and this and that, and they go to a restaurant called Kill 'Em. So they meet Michael and Melda. I have to say, Melda is really taking on this housewives. When we first saw Melda, we were like, of course, Melda's going to marry this guy and she's going to become a cast member. I don't know that that's ever going to happen. I know that in Melda's mind it's going to happen, though, because look at Melda showing up all housewivesy. Didn't you think? She's housewives coded today.
She really is. By the way, I am cracking up every time you tap your mic to mute because it feels like you're at a congressional hearing. You're like, you unmute yourself. You're like, Speaker, may I request 2 more minutes? Thank you very much.
Well, I need to figure out how to turn it upside down because I don't want it to always be my finger tapping. I don't want you to see it tapping. But, it's really hard to find a microphone with a mute button on it. It's annoying. I need to put it on the bottom, but I don't know. I think I would have to unscrew the whole thing from this thing, and I don't know. I'll figure it out later, guys.
Yeah, well,
but for now,
consolation, I don't hear any of the workers over your head at the moment. So you're doing great work, Ronnie.
But the little light, because there's also, see how there's this little light on it, so it tells you what. Oh, I guess you can't see it here, but it tells you like what noise it's hearing, and it's hearing it every time the saw goes. It's like the green light. The green light shakes.
The green light. Okay, so they're here. They've all gathered, all the siblings except for her sister. Her sister was missing. And so they're all saying hi and everything. And were you about to say something?
No, I was going to say sister-in-law. Is it her sister-in-law? Does she have a sister or a sister-in-law?
No, she has a sister. Because they have the same like nose work. They have the same face basically. Their faces have melded into one.
They have melded. So they make small talk. We find out what's going on with her, her family. And Jennifer's like, yeah, Melda and Mike are still together. They're still in that place I found them. So that's like her big thing. Like, I found someone in an apartment off the, under the freeway or whatever the fuck it was. So we see another shot of the big reveal of plastic covered furniture.
That's right. Steven actually, now is when Steven walks in, and he looks fussed to be there. He does not want to be there. Like, Jennifer has guilted him, and you could tell he hates his older brother, by the way. He does not even want to look at him. He's like, I gotta have lunch with these two? You mean I left the Sondheim Fest 2023 to come see these two? Okay.
Yeah.
At least get me some dolmas.
I agree. He does not like them. And we get a clue as to why later. That's really funny. But Jennifer's like, Steven lives in New York. He's a music teacher, but he also runs a musical theater festival. He plays piano. He gets people singing. That's what he does. He's like a maestro. This is what he does. And then does that with his fingers. And then he'll turn the page like this. Yeah. It's just a game. We're just so into it.
Yeah, she does like actually a really funny miming of him at the piano, playing the piano, then pointing at children to sing. So she's okay. Let's get some choban salada. Okay, enough ordering. No one cares about that. Okay, so I heard that you and John Bryan spent the weekend at my mom's when he was in Florida. What's the deal? You going once a month now? And so they're talking about just like Florida and Naples and everything. They're making small talk. I guess mom lives in Florida now, right? We haven't seen her parents all season.
No. And then they start talking about how the brother's opening up a store there. And she's like, do you like Florida? What's Florida like? And he's like, let me tell you, Florida's not like Jersey. In Jersey, things aren't scattered. But in Florida, things are scattered. She's like, oh, yeah, things are scattered. He goes, yeah. And also, I think Melda says
this.
Also, the people in the Naples, they're not aggressive like the people in Jersey. I'm like, you're talking to the lady who just pushed somebody last week and brought you to a restaurant called Kill 'Em. I don't know that you're like talking to the right audience right now. But Jen's like, oh yeah, people are super aggressive around here. Steven goes, I think they're plenty aggressive in Florida too. Like Steven's like, really? Are we going to be pro Florida today? I think Steven's like, fuck these Trumpers. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Steven
I think that's 100%. I'm so glad you picked up on that too. I think Steven was like, no, they're aggressive, and if I, Steven, a gay man, go to certain places, I will get beat up. Okay.
Yeah.
But Mike and Melda are like, but who cares? So then Jennifer Aydin's like, she's like, Danielle, I just got into a huge fight, baby. I called her out on a few things. She came onto my face. Very aggressive, very hostile, very non-Florida. And I pushed her as a reflex officer. I did. I swear I did, but I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
It was just a reflex, baby. It's like that time I went to the doctor when I was a little girl, and the doctor took a little tiny baby hammer, and he hit me on the edge of the knee, and I punched him in the face, and I held up a razor to his throat, and I said, you want to mess with me, you fat fuck, I'm going to kill you.
So if you want to arrest me, but just know you're arresting an innocent woman who just has reflexes, baby.
So sorry for having a reflex.
And they're like, wow, that's terrible, Jennifer. What a horrible human being.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, so I just pushed her a little bit. I just did like a little push. It was like this. Look at this little water glass. I'm going to move it to the side. It was just like that. And then she punched me outside the head, officer. Right alongside the head with her hands. It was so hard. I saw stars. It was like little Aydin children flying around my head. Stars, all of them.
And she had a drink in her hand when she hit me.
And Melda's like, how could she do such a thing? Let me tell you, in Naples, you wouldn't even feel it because we're so spread out. She could throw a drink, you would never even know.
And then when you're like, oh no, they punched me on the side of the neck, you would then realize it was only a hug. Because in Florida, everyone is nice.
Trash, piss lick.
Yeah. So then Jennifer's like, another thing is, I ride for Teresa and Dolores like nobody's business. It's the person that I am. That's just who I am. Riding for people, being the best possible friend to everyone else. I'm a good person, Jennifer Aydin.
Just me.
Just here to help the helpless. Jennifer Aydin, whose brother likes nothing but show tunes, and whose other brother likes nothing but giving diamonds to a reasonable price to people who are spread out a little bit.
So you have to drive an extra mile to get your diamond. Is that so wrong, mister? That's her billboard in Florida.
Is that so wrong, mister?
That's her trying to get people in Florida to go to her brother's jewelry shop.
So, anyway, we're Namaste Bitches podcast the other day.
Which is the funniest sentence.
We're Namaste Bitches podcast the other day. And I guess that's the place. It used to be a church. And so Danielle turns around and she goes, wow, it's no wonder the walls didn't start on fire when you walked in here.
Steven's like, well, in all fairness, you've been saying that to me since we were teenagers. You've always thought it was funny.
Shut up, Steven. Sorry, guys, it was a reflex.
So Steven's like, it's like, well, have you spoken to Teresa? She goes, well, I told Teresa that not. Like, what the fuck? I shouldn't even have to say anything. In the heat of the moment, when it comes to rise for me like this, is this how you show up? I never would have expected that, baby.
Steven's like, listen, I don't want to turn on you when you're paying for lunch. I just wanted to remind you, Teresa Giudice is an icon.
Oh, really? Is that what you're going to do to me, Steven? Oh, is that what you're going to do? I mean, here we are living cheek by jowl in compact New Jersey, and you got to stab me in the back like that.
So she's like,
wow, in the heat of the moment when it comes to rise for me, this is how Teresa shows up. I never would have expected it.
Really? You wouldn't? Because I don't think she's kept one friend since she started this show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, Dolores,
but Dolores asks for nothing in return, except that you don't call her a slob.
Or
like
tell her any of your problems, so she doesn't have to tell like later. It's like, I didn't want to hear about it. I've never seen someone more depressed in my life. I said, don't talk to me about it.
It is season 14, and Teresa has never had a friend's back. She's only had the men in her life. She will have their back if she's married to them or fucking them. But like she has literally never gotten into a fight on someone else's behalf, only on her behalf.
Yeah, but here's the important thing. Has she ever tried to make a man boil water? No. She's a good person.
Hey.
Jersey rules. So Jennifer's mad Teresa doesn't stand up for her because Jennifer's one of those people who will kick your enemy's assholes. Wait, why am I saying it like that? She will fight for you just so that you'll fight for her. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you start fights with everybody and you get physical, and not everybody can just go to war like that. It's not the army. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So now we go to the Fuda household, and for what turns out to be like a scene that's almost as long as the Love Island finale. Did you find the scene with Rachel and Danielle? Did you find that went on forever and ever and ever? I was like, are we still in this scene? They are talking for so long.
I don't know. I didn't really think so. I think because Danielle was just making me laugh the whole time, so I didn't mind.
So the little girls are playing. Rachel's youngest is the youngest one, Gianella, or I don't know. One of them is the little one who is having some speech therapy issues. Was cracking me up because she's just sort of sitting there and she keeps putting her hand on her chest like, me? Like she just and so Danielle comes in, she goes, look at you. I guess she's like she's like, hey little girl, is that a shirt or a bib? And the little girl just stares at her like, this? You're gonna make fun of, you're questioning this? This is from Milan. She just stares at her like, what are you talking about?
And Rachel's like, it's a bib with a smock situation. She goes,
The frills on it, Valentina. Listen, I used to stick a dish towel in your neck. Remember that before Fashion Week? That's right. You know, we started small. We started with dish rags. And that's what it's like when you got taste, all right? You got dish rag and be dazzler. Suddenly, you're fucking Fashion Week. You want a piece of me, Gianella? You want a piece of me? Clutching your chest like that when I'm trying to teach you fashion? You want a piece of me, you little bitch? Come on, come to me.
Get this awful woman out of my face. She's spitting on my bib. This bib is for my saliva only.
So do you remember that you called the Kids Bop thing? Did you realize? Have we talked about that on the show? Because that was some psychic shit.
I remember nothing that I say on this podcast. I enter a fugue state. And when it's done, yeah, because we talk so much. We're talking so much and for so long, and we're trying to be funny. Like, I'm trying to be funny, and when I'm not being funny, I'm also then quietly spiraling that I'm like annoying the audience with just like incessant strange noises and like run-off sentences that like I'm not even thinking about what's coming out of my mouth until later someone on Twitter is like, oh my God, what you said about the banana and the orangutan? I'm like, what?
Well, that was good too, the banana and the orangutan. That was a good story. Bit. But yeah, I guess a few weeks ago you said, oh God, next her kid's going to be in fucking Kids Bop or something. And they 2 episodes later, the kid was in Kids Bop.
I do have a very good Kids Bop dar. So, you know, I think it just really was pinging. It's hard not to. Honestly, you can see, like, I feel like Danielle is the sort of person who listens to Kids Bop just voluntarily. She's like, I love this music. Like, honestly, like, this is the thing that makes me happiest. I don't need to listen to Bliba or Selena Gomez. Like, give me the Kids Bops.
Yeah. So they're making Kids Bop small talk, as people do. And Rachel's like, oh, you had your Kids Bop thing. How'd that go? Was that both of your kids? Was that just one of your kids? Was that Valentina? Was that Valentina and Dominic? Like, who was it? Who was in Kids Bop? Did either one of them talk about my husband? Because that would not be right, and I will not have that in my home. And she's like,
that was Valentina, but you know, Dominic's like, yeah, I want to do it, ma. And I was like, don't take Valentina's fucking spotlight. And then Valentina was like, ma, let Dominic shine too.
I'm like, wow, that's shocking.
Yeah, it's really cute, actually.
It was actually like, it was wild. You would think, especially after like the behavior that her mom has patterned for them, that you do not share with your siblings.
Well, give it time, because you know, in 20 years on Real Housewives of New Jersey, Valentina's going to be like,
I don't talk to my fucking brother. Let me tell you, I get one fucking chance to do a dance on national TV, and he comes out in tap shoes. Fuck him. Never supported me. Never fucking supported me.
I remember the day like it was yesterday. They said, guess what, Valentina? You're going to be doing a cover of I Like Your Smile by Shanice, a great song from the 90s. And just as I start to go, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, Dominique comes in and goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, this is not a duet. It was over from there.
It's dead to me now. So then Valentina's like, we're going shopping, everybody. And Danielle's like,
Get us some groceries. Would you, honey? Go on in there. Go on in there, honey. Go on. Go to the playroom. Go to the playroom. Get us some groceries in the playroom, honey.
And if you see my dad, tell him, are you going to come to my luncheon tomorrow? Okay, have a fun time, kids. Then Rachel's like locks them into the playroom, right? She's like, okay, I'm going to lock you guys in here because we're going to talk. So I'm going to lock you in. Also, keep my husband's name out of your fucking mouth.
So, let's see. So Danielle's like,
All right, listen, I don't know if I told you, you know what, we invited my dad to a watch party, but my dad was going to come, but then he didn't come. I'm destroyed that my dad didn't come. My dad does nothing for that. I'm never speaking to my dad again. He's kind of off, that motherfucker.
Apparently he had to go and have surgery because he bit his fist a little too hard. So he almost cut right into the bone. But he's crying.
So then they talk about the stepmom having eyelid issues or whatever. And Rachel's like, well, that sucks that she missed two things, though, because she missed two things. And she goes,
yeah, especially after what happened with Jen, you know, because, like, back in the day, like, I could talk to my father about it, you know? Like, in high school, stuff would happen, you know? I'd never forget one time I got this altercation. This girl was in school, and she said, you want to go in front of me in the fucking buffet line? I said, fuck you. Do I look like I need fucking help from you, little Miss Prince? I grabbed her by the ponytail, and I slammed her in the brunch. She walked away with fucking mac and cheese coming out her eyes. I said, Dad, listen what I did to this girl. He said, good for you, kid. Good for you.
But next time, treat your mother with a little bit more respect.
I never spoke to him again. I didn't speak to him again till third grade.
I love it. It's like, you know, I used to talk to my dad about this kind of stuff. Well, you know what you could do now is you could also just talk to your dad about this. You weren't
even talking to your dad about it. Your dad was just called to the police station to bail you out, and you had to tell him what happened in front of the officers. What is wrong with you? Like, I used to talk about my dad. Every time I used to kick a girl's ass, I could call my dad, be like, I kicked that bitch's ass, right, Dad? And he'd be like, good for you, kid.
And they show photos of the dad who looks exactly the same. He's apparently always looked this age, and he just has this smile. He's sort of a strange shaped man. And he's got this, and he has that beard and that sort of smile. He looks almost like a cartoon logo for like a local bakery, right? He's like, hey. you know those bakeries with those men that go, hey.
Or like a pizza box face. You know, like a face on a pizza box. So she's telling the story about the altercation. She goes,
yeah. And then my dad was around the corner when I got this altercation. And it goes, fuck yeah. I'll never forget that.
What the fuck is wrong with this family? This is so Staten Island. Does anybody ever leave Staten Island with one eye that's not wonky?
No. Also, I think I just realized who the dad looks like. The dad looks like if the hamburger helper glove came to life and became a human.
I don't remember what he looks like, but in my mind, he looks like James Lipton from Inside the Actors Studio.
Does. Like the Staten Island version.
Yeah. Like I could imagine, but like with like a little Dom DeLuise scarf, you know?
If Hamburger Helper became a real human, but then also went into acting and then wound up being someone who hosts a show about acting, that's what he would look like.
The Hamburger Helper, I just remember the actual hand.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, if that hand actually sort of morphed into a human,
it would bite itself.
Like he has Hamburger Helper glove energy. Like when you see those photos, it's like that's the Hamburger Helper glove in man
That's
form.
funny. So, she's like, yeah, you know, I'll never forget that, you know, because you don't remember those things when your parents were actually fucking cool situations, don't reprimand you, you know what I mean? Because I know he would have backed me on this one, because this is like, that's the type of relationship I had with my dad, which is why I pissed it all away. That's why I pissed it all away.
okay, well, I wasn't listening to any of that. So tell me about the podcast. She goes, oh, well, it was in a church. Oh, it was in a church? Did the placebo, the place, I mean, not the placebo. Did the place burn the fuck down? Placebo, what? Anyway, bro. That's exactly what I said to Jenny Aydin. Oh, you spoke to her? Yeah. Well, I guess you could say that. I spoke to her as much as I speak to my father, which is not very much, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so they were trying to make it peaceful back there, and so I was like, yeah, we all peaceful. I'm gonna go back out there and watch your show. So I walk past Jen, and I bend down and I go, by the way, you look like absolute fucking garbage shit, you piece of shit, stupid bitch. And then I left. That shit was funny, right? And then I turned around the corner, and I was like, God, I wish my dad was there to see that.
The dad's in the corner being like, oh, I did see it. You just didn't see me. Oh. I looked down at the sand.
The dad's at home on the couch biting his hand going, I miss so much. I've missed so much. My daughter has terrorized so many women in the time that I haven't spoken to her.
So Rachel's like, so I was thinking about getting all the girls together and having a night in, like an elevated pajama party type of thing, like playing games, having champagne, wine, bartender, just do like girl stuff, bond a little bit. Oh, okay. Will there be any kids bot playing? Probably not.
I have such fond memories of slumber parties and really being able to just like have slumber parties where people like slumber and girls have fun and that's what it starts talking about when Rachel has a monologue. That's what it sounds like in my head. It just starts turning like Charlie Brown's parents talking. And I don't really hate Fuda or anything. She just shouldn't be given monologues. Don't be given monologues. Oh, also, she shouldn't be given the benefit of the doubt. Because did you read the stuff about Fuda that came out this week? That was good.
No. What happened?
Someone was maybe Bravo and Cocktails. Sorry if I'm not crediting the right people. But something came out, newspaper clipping. Somebody got to the microfiche. Okay. I know things in the old days, everything's not cataloged yet, but somebody went out and got the microfiche pulled up. And apparently it wasn't just 16 years old, sold a little weed. It was 20 years old and went in with a gang and broke into someone's house, kicked their door down and pistol whipped somebody and robbed them. And
yeah, but in Jersey, that's just like delivering a pizza.
I didn't think it was the worst thing either, but it's also not. Look, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's not murder. You know what I mean? But it's not.
It's not calling someone a slob.
Right, but it's not 16 years old and just got caught with a load. I think that was a different thing. I think that was some other drug. I'm not going to specify. I don't want to get sued, but I'm guessing it was another drug, and I'm guessing there was probably multiple incidents or whatever. But, just had to mention it because it was out there in the Jersey world. And if you don't come here for news,
what the fuck are you here for?
Yeah. Well, that's wild. That's hilarious. Of course, it's not as innocent as it sounds. But anyway, Rachel's telling us about slumber parties. I like when she says like her memories of slumber parties are telling secrets and doing prank calls. I'm like, in Jersey, that's like, I thought you're not allowed to do that in Jersey. Isn't like telling secrets and having prank calls the equivalent of just like ratting someone out to the feds? It's like, hey, this is a quote unquote prank call to a number. I have no idea who's on the other line, but guess what? Joe Giudice has been scamming old people. Okay, bye. Oh, wasn't that a funny prank, everyone? That was a totally funny prank.
Well, they use a lot of terminology that I don't understand why they're using it in the show. Like Teresa goes,
I can't wait until Margaret Joel's house, everything comes out because I'm going to sing like a bird.
I'm like, doesn't that make you a rat? I don't think you're supposed to say I'm going to sing like a bird. No?
Yeah, I think singing like a bird is like when the cops coerce you.
Yeah, like I think you're going to get shanked. I wouldn't talk like that. Yeah.
Well, Teresa, a wordsmith. Even she admits she's not a wordsmith. So
I'm a word Jones. I'm a word Hollyoak.
That she would never make. She would never make that joke. Only I would make. I don't say only I think I'm the only one who would make that joke. Is Hollyoak? Is that the right Hollyoak? Right? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
I'm tearing off the cover of an Amex card, and these things really are metal. Look at this. That's crazy. That's what I'm doing. Okay,
where are we? Holyoke is what I meant to say, not Hollyoak. See, like I can't even make fun of Teresa when I'm calling Mount Holyoke. I think I'm on a totally different
These are
podcast
serious.
I have now.
I'm not even at work anymore. I'm
in an alternate universe where people are actually paying attention to this stupid joke I'm trying to actually articulate.
I'm sorry.
I'm now lost in the weeds on.
I'm into credit card technology now. Have you ever seen the chip inside a credit card? Look at that. It's actually a big chip.
Oh.
Well, I feel safe. Even though this got stolen, which is why I'm tearing it apart because I had to get a new one. So thanks a lot, Steelers. Okay. I don't know. If I knew they'd be dead. They'd be dead to me.
Part of the rules of watching Real Houses of New Jersey is that you get you become a victim of fraud.
I'm sitting here like tampering with credit cards while we're talking about Jersey. It just seems fitting, doesn't it? Okay, so they're talking about this party, who she's going to have over, and she's like, listen, I know you're not in a really good place with Jen, but I want to have Jen over. And she's like, I don't have a problem with Jen. I just have a problem with people that she's friends with.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, obviously I'm not going to invite Teresa. It's my house. And I really didn't talk to Jen Fessler at the fashion show. So I feel like I don't hate her, but like, it's like a similar thing, like with your dad, in the sense that like, sometimes it's easier just to move past it than rehash it. Some things are easier to skate over. I'm like, has Danielle moved forward with her dad? Has she skated over that? I'm not sure.
She hasn't. Also, I wouldn't bring up like your relationship with someone you've known for 5 minutes to her, like a deep traumatizing relationship with her father, Now, is it traumatizing because she made it that way? Probably, yes. But still, like, I don't know that I'd compare those. But anyway, they're going to invite Jackie too, and whatever. It's a party time. So then we go to Teresa's house, and one of the dogs is just watching her slathering peanut butter on a rice cake. Just cute. She's like, don't
look at me, Rosie, goddammit. You didn't earn this from me, all right?
I gotta bring this up to Gia. So she goes up to Gia, who's studying at her little desk and everything for LSATs. And she's like, well, it's good they gave you the month off to study for the LSATs. Like, what are you taking the month off? You took a month off for that? And she's like, yeah, literally just the month of October, Mom. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if Gia wants to become a lawyer, she becomes a lawyer. Like, whatever her heart desires. I'm just grateful she went to college for 4 years, because, like, look around, you know what I mean? But, like, she did, and, like, she went to college, and if she actually wants to still be a lawyer after all of that, I'm gonna be like, come on.
So does daddy know you're studying? And she goes, yeah, he's happy. He's already calling me a lawyer. Like, and I'm like, not a lawyer. Like, wow. Remember when Gia had a sparkling personality? Like, yeah, season 1.
No. So Teresa's like, yeah, Joe didn't graduate from no high school. He only got his GED. I went to college for like 2 years, and my vocabulary is not that great, but like, it's okay. Look at my kids. Like Melania
sitting in a salad.
I was gonna say Melania sitting on the sushi section of the store.
Hey, you know what though? Gabriella is at Michigan, which is a great school. So
her kids turned out great. Yeah, her kids turned out great.
Honestly, there really is some truth to that like those kids should have been way more fucked up than they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
apples do fall off trees, but they also roll away from them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Gravity. We've learned a lot about gravity. So Gia says this. She goes, Dad always says you guys went through a lot and you guys could have been really screwed up and you're not. And I'm like, thanks, Captain Obvious. Holy shit. Oh, am I right?
Okay, well that's fun.
Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say it's the first time anyone's ever elevated Joe to captain level. But Teresa's like,
you and your sisters, yeah, you guys had a lesson at an early age, and it like made you guys like who you is today, and so your welcomes did it. All right.
Yeah, well, and she goes,
the lesson is like that's what makes you stronger.
Don't trust Margaret. That's your lesson. All right, here's what you learned because you had good parents. Margaret's a bitch. All right.
Just write down on the LSATs, Margaret is the root of all evil. Louis going to court. Louis is stressed. He's been going to court. He's been like going to court with her for like 3 years. Like since the day I met him.
I love that like Louis being in court with his ex-wife for all these years was never a red flag for her.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So she says that like it's been 3 years, and recently she filed a restraining order against Louis, which is like, but why? Like, oh, it's like fine. It's like, I mean, it's not nice to have a restraining order put against you, but like also like, why is Louis like hanging around with her? Like, why should it even matter? It seems like they don't even want to be near each other.
This relationship is insane. I listened to the Bravo docket. You know, I love that podcast. Shout out Ceci and Angela. If you guys haven't listened to the episode, go check it out. It's called like it's the title's very obvious. It's like Louis' ex or whatever, like the lawsuits from her. It is so fascinating how nuts these people are. Like literally both of them seem completely bonkers. Yeah, they seem completely bonkers. This just does not seem like a relationship you need to be in at all ever. I mean, we all saw it. We can see Louis, you know, it's not like it was a big secret, but it was kind of a secret to know how crazy it is to me. I didn't know it was this nuts. Yikes.
Really? Wow. What are the big takeaways? Do you remember?
Well, the first one mostly focuses on her, on stuff that he's saying that she's doing to him, which is like she became a therapist. So she wrote these letters for him to sign that are like, I'm a narcissist. I'm bipolar. She's like trying to diagnose him with all this stuff and get him to admit all this stuff, almost like she's trying to get him to commit himself it's just Looney Tunes. And I can't even explain it because I didn't write down any notes of it, but it's just literally cuckoo. It's to the point because I just thought Louis nuts. I mean, we see that Louis nuts. I mean, that's a given. So I just assumed it was all Louis, but they seem to both be pretty out there, and it's toxic and insane. It's just insane, and they never even got married. I don't think, did they?
Oh,
they were just engaged.
I don't know. But either way, Teresa is saying that this case is like crazy, and she goes,
You know, you just don't do that. You don't put lies out there about someone and try to hurt them, okay? Like, you don't do that. Anyway, Evan Goldschneider's having sex in the gym, and also Melissa Gorga, I heard, like, she was making out with a guy after her fashion show, but, like, I didn't say it. Laura said that, so if you want to go tell everyone about that, that's what happened. Also,
yeah, that's why I got so mad when people were saying that Melissa was a stripper on national TV that I had nothing to do with at all. I mean...
and the reason why I hate Margaret so much is because she's been part of this, and like she's behind it, and she's like talking to Louis' ex the whole time, and we got proof of it.
So she's like, yeah, I want to move on because I can't move on till the case is over.
And she's like, yeah, like it's not even closed. I feel like once this is settled, it's kind of just like gonna be like, and I told you so for like Margaret's sake, you know, because people are going to be like, told you so, Margaret's sake.
And then Teresa's like,
you know what? It's going to be done. Well, the case is going to be done soon. And like, I want the woman to know that this is like serious. And like, this is like not a joke. Okay. So I'm going to have James Leonard explain the whole situation.
And then we have like a flashback to Teresa FaceTiming her lawyer, who's wearing his most formal sweatshirt. And he's like, yeah, I'll be honored to tell all the women about this case.
This is so funny.
I want to gather the women to explain.
It's like a Tupperware party, but it's like,
I know.
All right, does anybody have the bitch lid to the fuckface pot? All right, of the Margaret set of the Tupperware.
This is the Jersey version of Alexia inviting her lawyer friend over to tell all the women about whatever it was that he was over there to talk about.
she's gonna have like a party to lecture everybody on what a bitch Margaret is. So, also James Leonard, who was helping Teresa and Jen with this blogger situation or whatever was going on with them and trying to manipulate everything through the blogs. I mean, these people are all nuts. So Gia's like, yeah. Because, Teresa says, James Leonard,
he's not representing Louis. He's my attorney, but, like, he follows the case, so he knows it inside out, just like I know inside out. My favorite one is Depression. She's so cute.
And Jay goes, and no, even the people that you become really close with, like Jackie and Jen Fessler, like, Jen Fessler calls a spade. And when she sees this, she's going to be like, you know, That's fucked up. Thanks, Chip.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this sneak preview.
Because this is so bad. Like, there's going to be nowhere for somebody not to, like, what's in black and white. Everybody's going to say, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And closing statements knocked it out of the park.
I mean, here's the thing though, if there's anything this show has proven to us over, 12 years or so, or 14 years, is that when facts are laid out in a very black and white manner, people have no problem just looking the other way and believing something else completely. And that is basically your mother.
Yeah.
It's really directed really at Teresa.
Yeah. So then we go to Marge's house and she's setting food out. She's like, oh my God, I got you apricot cheese, Joe. Okay. This one's fig and cherry. This is me being nice to you through cheeses just in case you're really sick, Joe. Okay. Enjoy it while you can. All right. I'm actually letting you touch something other than the Velveeta that's in the fridge.
You know what, Margie? I couldn't care less about apricot cheese.
But I got fig and cherry too, Joe. What are you complaining? What were you diagnosed with? CDO, complaining disorder overload? Like, what is this?
Okay. You not only do you have high PSA, but suddenly you got high cheese standards too. Eat the apricot cheese, Joe, for crying out loud.
I've got a high PSA for you.
Hi, this is your PSA. You're an asshole. Okay.
I've got a public service announcement for you. Beggars shouldn't be choosers. Eat the apricot cheese. I got it for you from Tenafly.
Are your hands clean, Joe? He's like, pretty much. What does pretty much mean? Jesus Christ, from a plumber? No, they're not. What, are you going to get pink eye? Last time you said pretty much, you showed up at our wedding with pink eye, Joe. Go wash your hands.
I got you fig and cherry cheese, not sludge and footprint.
So Melissa and Joe Gorga come over, and he's like, hey, yeah, you know what? Knockers should be on a lady, not on a door. Am I right? Just use the doorbell,
Quiet,
Joe. Jesus
God,
Christ,
Joe.
Joe.
You always have to do that, Joe. God. So they walk in, and Joe goes, hey, my buddy. Hey, why does your breath smell like apricots? Like, sorry, Margie made me eat the apricot cheese. I didn't even want to. Hey, that's not what a man does. A man says, when life gives you apricots, you jerk off on it. Hey.
So they are over there so that Joe Gorga can cut a tree down, a dead tree in Marge's backyard. She's like, you know what? I know that you used to be a landscaper. Just go cut that tree, Joe. And Melissa's like, what do you want him to cut, the dead one? No, Melissa, I want him to cut all the living trees and leave the dead one up there. Come on. What the fuck do you think I want? Joe, go out there and cut down the dead tree. Now, you might not know it, but before Joe was ripping off Home Depots and not paying people back all over town, he was actually cutting down alive trees. There he goes. Doesn't he just look like the type of person who could climb a tree? I don't really know what that means. I know it sounds offensive. Just sit with that for a moment.
My Joe is like Super Mario. He's a plumber. He's Italian. He likes to step on turtles, okay? He can do a lot of different stuff, but he's not climbing a tree, okay? Last time I checked, there was no such thing as Mario and Luigi go up a tree, all right? Okay, that was for you, Joan, if you play Nintendo. I'm not sure if you do, okay? I don't know who it's really for, but it's for someone.
So they go out with some chainsaws. They're very excited, and so then Marge is like, that is hilarious. I love chainsaw jokes and so many jokes. Joe could be dying of cancer. Could happen any moment. I just hope he gets that tree down before it happens.
Joe, don't go up the tree, okay? Because your prostate's already enlarged. The last thing we need is for it to get a splinter, okay? Joe, just stay on the ground.
Yeah. And this is obviously very serious because cancer, fuck cancer, as usual. Of course. But it's just these housewives shows how they do it. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait till we have a sleepover. Oh my God, are we going to sleep over or sleep under? Joe could have cancer and die any month. Like, they just switch so fast. Like, can I have a moment to stop smiling before you go into the most depressing conversation of the episode?
So I love this. So then Joe Gorga is going up the tree. He's going up. It's kind of impressive, actually. He really gets all the way up there. He's got that strap thing, and he goes, "Hey!" And he's like, has gloves, and he starts pulling at stuff. And Joe Bonino's like, what? He's like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And he's like, poison ivy, bro. Poison ivy. Poison ivy, bro. I don't know why it was so. I don't know why the phrase "poison ivy, bro" is so funny to me.
Okay, so then the tree falls, and Marge is like,
But as long as it doesn't take out my new Teresa's, I'm fine with it.
Hey, if a tree falls in Tenafly and no one's there to hear it, do you still jerk off?
if you jerk off on a tree, but no one's there to catch your sperm, did the tree get pregnant?
Hey, if a tree falls in Tenafly and no one's there to jerk off on it, does Frank still suck at golf? Hey, take off your pants.
Excuse me, Joe. I appreciate you taking down that tree, but I just got a call from Serena and Tenafly. Why are you jerking off trees in Tenafly?
Hey, you've never seen the splooge go so far as when you jerk off from the top of a tree. Gotta get the poison out.
So Melissa is like, oh, so wait a second. I saw you commented on Jackie's post. You know, her daughter, she did that bat mitzvah thing. And then we see an Instagram post of Jackie's family celebrating the bat mitzvah, which is Amazon boxes all over the floor. All the guests were just instructed to bring Amazon boxes and throw them at the little girl's head.
Yeah, the reception was just in the driveway and people just had to open up boxes to find their lunch. So that's a callback to several years ago. So yeah,
First fight, Amazon fight. All right, it was Jackie's first big fight on the show.
There were a lot of Amazon fights that season because then there was issues that Jennifer Aydin would just give her kids Amazon packages for doing their homework. So yeah, it was a whole thing. So basically, Margaret posted something that was like 2 prayer hands and 2 blue hearts. And Margaret's like,
wait, was the Amazon box? I'm sorry, this is important now. Was the Amazon boxes on the? Did Jackie do that where she was like, for birthday parties, I just get Amazon boxes and kids open them and get whatever they want? That did happen, right? Is that in my head?
I think it was like pizza. There was like pizza. The pizza was not on the ground. I think it was that they like the party favors. I think were just like in a box on the ground, and when they got their party favors, they just like reached into the box. It was something like
okay. It was like that, right?
And Jennifer
that's what I
was
thought.
horrified.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
but I do remember also Jennifer being in her own backyard playing basketball with the kids, and was like, "Whoever wins this game gets an Amazon box," something like that.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue what you were saying, my little friend.
So Margaret, yeah, she's like, no, I didn't even know her daughter was even having a bat mitzvah. Listen, of course I'm going to comment on that. Like, I could be totally social and cordial, unlike Jennifer Aydin and Danielle, okay? And Melissa goes, oh, so are they both coming to Rachel's? Did they both say yes? Yes, they both said yes. Oh, and what are those two going to do? What are these two going to do? What are they going to do? I mean, we're all having fun at a pajama party, right? No? Huh? We're going to have fun, right? Are we going to have fun?
Are we going to have fun? Or are we going to have fun? So the guys come in and they're like, oh my God, he cut his hand off. She's like, you know what? Cut the crap. I see you with ketchup, you motherfuckers. See that.
It'd be more convincing if you didn't add mustard to it also. Sorry, Marge, you just have it.
Who chops off their hand and gets Hellmann's all over their shirt, Joe? Jesus Christ. You even stain your shirts doing an innocent fun prank. Unbelievable.
I'm glad you weren't wearing the seafoam. So we go to Jennifer Fessler's house, and Dolores shows up, and Fessler's like, oh my goodness, look at this. He brought me flowers and a cannoli. It's not even my birthday.
See, Kathy coded this episode. Yeah. They're trying to get Kathy coming back in our minds. She's coming. And Fessler's like, it's not my birthday. Why'd you show up with all this stuff for me? She's like, well, I figured you like cannolis. You know why? Who doesn't like a fucking cannoli? All right. You want to ever pretend to know somebody? Bring them a cannoli and watch them say, you know, I like cannolis. Everybody likes a fucking cannoli.
How do you feel about cannolis, Ronnie?
Oh, overrated. I don't like the cannoli. I don't like the dough of a cannoli. I think it's too chalky. I would prefer a crispier fried taco. I'm trying to think of the Mexican cookie that's like a fried dough that's very crispy and covered in sugar. What's that called? Mm-hmm. Not a churro, but the really crispy.
No, it's yeah.
I would like that kind of
like
dough.
A wedding cookie.
Yeah, I don't like the soft kind of chalky dough, and I do order them. I did actually get a free one last week with some Italian food, and so I ate it, and I was like, yep, still chalky. No matter where you get them from, they're always chalky. And also, if you're going to make a tubular thing, you need to find a way to get that cream through the whole tube, because I find that the most recent cannolis I have, they splooge in each side, and then there's like 2 chunks, and then there's nothing in the middle. of the tube, like the very
that's
center.
terrible.
It's very bad. It's very bad cannoli splooging. What do you think of cannolis?
I haven't had one in a while. I never thought they were like amazing. To me, they're very like mid-pack, but like I think the last few cannolis I had were actually very, very good, and it went all the way through. So I feel like I think obviously if you get like a good cannoli, it's going to be like delicious, but I don't have like a childhood nostalgic connection to them. And like weirdly enough, like for me, like I love like a black and white cookie in terms of talking about like sort of Northeastern kind of, desserts things. And like I love a black and white cookie. And so many people are like, really? They say those are too chalky, but like
they're too chalky for me. Yeah.
And so, but I think that's like, maybe it's because you bring so much like cultural and personal and nostalgic stuff to it. And I just don't have those connections with the cannolis. So for me, cannolis are like fine, but I've yet to find a cannoli where I'm like, I must go out of my way to get this cannoli.
Yeah. And for someone who just shat all over cannolis, I eat a lot of cannolis because I'll always order them from an Italian place. Because
Really?
when you just want something sweet, but when you order pizza, they don't have anything sweet. They just have the pizza and then they'll have maybe like a tiramisu or a cannoli. It's not like ice cream or M&Ms, Where's a pizza place with M&Ms? Just give me that.
I'll take a cannoli over a tiramisu any day. I just want to say.
I take both usually. Okay, so let's get away from my eating disorder and move on to Dolores and Fessler talking about cannolis. Okay, so Fessler is like, oh, I love cannolis. Thank you for these. She goes, yeah, I know. So look at this house. God, I don't normally get to enjoy it because every time I'm here, there's just so many people here. But it's big. It's big. Oh my God, are these white countertops? Hold on. Do you mind if I do something? Where are you going? I'm walking from the living room to the kitchen to the dining room to the living room. I could live here.
It's great. Oh, and you got rails on your stairway too. Wonderful. Oh, and look at this skinny picture of you. Look at this. You look wonderful here. This is the best you've ever looked. Oh, it's your daughter. Never mind. I thought it was you.
So then they start talking about how fun her family is. And we see pictures of them doing shot skis and stuff. And then we move on to talk about gossiping. Dun, 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 dun. And Dolores is like, listen, I wish you could have been with us when we had real fun, like the women in Ireland together. Gosh, wasn't that a good time? Were there any big fights in Ireland?
Well, there
Why do
was.
I feel like there were?
There were sort of small skirmishes, and that's of course where Danielle learned about Laura and all that stuff. But there were skirmishes, but it wasn't major. They got along really well, and so they're all like they're reminiscing on that time when they were all hanging out. They all enjoyed each other. They all could laugh in each other's company and have a good time. And Fessler's like, well, I can't imagine a scenario where anything will ever be that fun with this group ever again. And Dolores is like, well, that's what I'm so upset about. Look at my face. Look how upset I am. Now I'm happy. Now I'm upset. Can you tell the difference?
Look, right now I'm having a cannoli. Now I'm having a frog's ass. Now I'm having a leaf.
Hold on. I'm laughing out of control. There, I laughed.
Yeah. So listen, that's not the only thing bothering me. There's a couple of things I'm very upset I'm very upset about right now. That, pebble tiles, Teresa's a mess. She's like, oh God, she's very, very Teresa. She's like, you think stretch? I mean, what do you think? She's stretched. She weighs, what is she? 3 pounds? Okay. So on the way there, Teresa calls me and says, I've got anxiety beyond anxiety. And then she goes, if I pass out, please call 911. I'm not good because there's a court case is going on. And I said, you know what? That's all I want to hear. I don't want to say anything else. I don't want specifics. I don't want fucking details because if it gets out, I don't want to get blamed. I don't want to ruin a court case. None of that. So just, you know what? Continue not eating over there silently. Okay. I wish you the best.
The less I know, the better. I don't want any single person to tell me anything about this court case. Cut to next week. James Leonard telling Dolores everything about the court case. Well, I didn't want to know, but then I heard that might be a focaccia crocodile. So Fessler's like, me neither. I don't know anything about nothing, honey. So they're talking about the court case and everything and how stressed Teresa is and how Teresa is a shell of what she used to be. So
Teresa was a shell. That's the point. Teresa's a shell. Okay. That's why we love her. She's a shell with pretty hair.
She's a peanut. She's a
She's
peanut
a shell with a hairline. We like her. Okay.
So Dolores is like, you know what? Teresa alone can handle anything. But Louis gets worked up and Teresa feeds off that. And now worrying about Louis and what's going on with Louis is literally killing her. Sort of like me facing that pebble tile every single morning of my day. Why does Frank keep bringing it over? So Dolores is like, and now Jennifer gets up and she screams in her face and has every right to yell at her, by the way. She has every right. But like, and Fessler's like, oh, so now, but you're like worried about Teresa though? You're worried? Is this what's happening right now? And she's like, because I was worried about Teresa. I said, don't take it out on her, Jen Aydin. Don't take it out on her.
Yeah, so Dolores yelled at Jen. Dolores, who's so sick of everybody yelling at everybody, is like, and then I yelled at Jen. I said, I got in Jen's face. I said, you get out of her face. So then they start talking about Rachel, and Fessler's like,
well, I sent her a text. I'll read it to you. Okay. It says, Dear Rachel, woke up this morning, bought myself a gun. I'm sorry. That was a masturbatory text to myself.
That was for you, James.
So she is talking about basically like I told her, listen, I have learned my lesson. I will never stand up for your husband again. And I've learned that you do not like me standing up for your husband because I never would have said anything bad about your husband. All I was doing was standing up for him. So I will now forever sit down anytime your husband is mentioned. There, you win.
And she didn't even text me back. I can't believe my text that at first appeared like an apology, but then turned out to be a passive-aggressive jab generated no response.
So then it came in, these party invites came in. So then she's like,
but then there was a slumber party, and she invited me, so I didn't text her back. And then she said, I hope you did not text me back because I didn't text you back. And I said, well, I'm not coming to your party. She said, I hope it's not because I didn't text you back. And I said, well, I've thought about it. I'll come. What do you think about that, Dolores? Huge drama here, Dolores. Non-stop.
Well, I would be fucking aggravated with her.
I am aggravated. That's the right word.
Well, but you expected what you deserve. But more than she is able for sometimes. And I also think you guys you're just vastly different in life. You're in different places. So I don't think that being so close makes a lot of sense to me. Look. She's 31 years old, going on 5. And, I don't know, 73, whatever it is. You guys shouldn't be friends.
Listen, you're Methuselah. She's a baby chick with new lips. For women, you're nothing to each other. Now, if you were Frank and Brittany, you'd be getting married in an Olive Garden, probably. But for women, this makes no sense.
Look. She's not old enough to even know who James Gandolfini is, okay? Every time you say you slept with James Gandolfini, she looks at you like you slept with Woodrow Wilson, okay? It makes no difference to her. You need to be friends with people who will be impressed.
Anytime we say you slept with Gandolfini, she says, why would she sleep with Harry Potter's teacher? We say, that's not even the right movie, Rachel.
Every time you say you slept with the head of The Sopranos, she's like, who the fuck cares if you're sleeping with Placido Domingo? She doesn't even get that right.
So Fester's like, you are a wise woman, Dolores. She goes, I know. You know what? Gandolfini.
Bob Geldof. God, I love Farm Aid. So...
So she's gonna go to the party now. They're all gonna do Fuda the biggest favor of showing up to her sleepover party. So then we go to Teresa and Jen meeting at Capital Craft.
Capital Craft, this weird restaurant. It had like a picture of Sundays on the front page of the menu. So Teresa is like, hi, honey, I heard your voice. And Jennifer's like, oh my God, baby, your hair looks darker. She goes, yeah, I got a glaze. My eyes pop darker. Teresa's hair, it's so funny. She has that hairstyle today where it's like, it's really straight, but like it's really coming out and forward. And if you look at her, she literally looks like she's in the Traders and she's just arrived in the turret about to vote someone on. like I'm expecting her to take her hair and pull it back. Yeah, it literally looks like a hood of like, Ellen Cummings going to come and ask her who her choice is.
Oh, that's funny.
How are you?
So they make small talk about the podcast and they order chicken nachos and garlic knot chicken parm. the fuck? How do these people eat like this and look like that? I've never understood on this show. And then he brings over this gigantic plate of nachos. Oh my God.
It was like they lowered Shamu made of tortilla chips right in front of them. It was massive.
What is it? How do they stay like this? I want to know. It's not fair. So then they start talking about the other night. Teresa's like,
Yeah, I sorry about what happened the other night on my podcast because I was like, I wanted to help, but then I was like, I got things to do because, it's a podcast. And so I was like, I gotta go out there and I gotta do a greeting and seat and the, I don't know, I couldn't do nothing.
she's like, how could you, Teresa?
You didn't even stand up for me, baby. There I was, just me alone, being nailed to a cross. I said, Teresa, come save me. And you basically handed someone a drill to make it quicker, baby. How could you? A power drill.
This is one of the few times where I agree fully with Teresa. It's her own event. She has to go back on stage. She cannot get into a fight in the middle of her podcast about keeping the peace, okay? And a church, no less. So in this case, I do support Teresa being like, whatever, you guys figure this out. I got to get back to work.
Yeah. So Jennifer is like,
Yeah, well, I see you altercating with somebody. You never asked me to butt in, but I do it anyway because it's my personality. I guess it's my fault. I'm just too good of a street fighter.
It's what you get when you spend so much time in the crowded, compact streets of New Jersey as opposed to easygoing, spread out Florida.
So Teresa's like,
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
well, I know you're stressed out with the court case and everything, but I need a friend. I want you to know I'd ride or die for you. I love you, Teresa. I do, I love you.
She's like, I wouldn't like died for you too. No, ride or die, Teresa. Well, I already wrote it in it. It's already in I'm not writing in nothing right now. Ride or die, Teresa.
Well, I thought rider vans were still in business. No, I didn't say that rider died. I said that ride or die, Teresa.
Well, yeah, okay, I will do that. And she goes, well, I just like to feel like it sometimes, you know what I mean? Hey, hold on a second. Waiter, come over here. You stupid fat fuck. Nobody likes you, Teresa. I think he's nice. Teresa!
Well, if I had to pick between you and Danielle, obviously I'm gonna pick you. Well, that's all I needed to hear, Teresa. Thank you. She's not a good friend to you like I am. She doesn't love you the way I do, Teresa. Okay, so what's going on with this court case then, by the way?
And she's like, because basically Jennifer Aydin's like, okay, I just needed to know that you like me more than Danielle, so we can talk about you now. So
I just needed to get that on the record.
Yeah. So basically Teresa's like, well, wait. And so she's, they're talking about like this, the judge is making a decision and crossing every T and dotting every I, etc. And they're just talking about the case. And she's saying how, you know what?
It took almost 6 months, but you know what? If that's what it needed to take, I am so thankful because we want peace, we want happiness, and we want to use this against Margaret Joseph, the root of all evil.
Yeah. So then Rachel Fuda's household. So I guess the thing is they're waiting for this lawsuit to be over and then Teresa can bring up the court case stuff. I'm not really sure, but there you go. So Rachel Fuda's household. Here we go. Pink. Everything's pink. And Rachel's like, I've done everything for this party. I have a caterer. I have a party planner. I have a bartender. I have a babysitter. My kids are tucked in. They've got beds. They've got sheets. They've got pillows. The only way their beds are staying up there is because there's a floor up there. It's on the next floor. There's a floor. There's a carpet. There's a rug on a carpet.
But I want more. So she's saying everything's getting ready and everything, and she's talking to the bartender. She's like, oh my God, I almost lost an eyeball. I'm gonna peek at your bar. He's like, yeah, come check this over. So she's like, the last few times the ladies have gotten together, it's not gone great, but I hope that the ambiance will help everyone have a good time. And by ambience, I mean the empty, sterile quality of my house.
So everybody comes over and Marge's like, oh my God, I've been standing here ringing the doorbell. She's like, oh, you look so cute. I got all you guys slippers. Oh my God. You know what? You got us all Joe's. It's what I call slippers because Joey's always falling down. Stupid fucking Joe. Oh, wait, did I say that? I'm sorry. We're having a very dramatic time with Joe right now. Get these slippers out of my face. How insensitive are you?
Has anyone done a PSA test on these slippers? Okay. So now everyone's showing up, and Jennifer Aydin's like,
Oh, so this is your house, baby. This is new construction. Okay, where's the mall that you look at? No, you don't have one? Oh, that's too bad, baby.
How do you sleep at night with that big fluorescent lights from a parking lot shining through your window?
yeah, well, you know what? It's raised ranch, and we took the roof off and put 2 floors on top of it. So it's like technically a renovation. Or it's also what we talk about. I was going to try to make a ranch dressing joke, but I couldn't quite get there. Raised ranch.
So Rachel's like, we have champagne. Jackie put slippers on. You know, we do as the Romans do. Jackie's just like, Romans had a party where they had slippers? Well, no Romans invited me to that fucking party. I guess I know where I stand with the Romans. Thanks a lot, Romans.
She goes, oh my God, these are really comfortable. I have the biggest feet ever. Oh, come on. You know, your feet are your feet are they really are big. You got huge feet. You know what it's like? It's like looking at kangaroos. You know how kangaroos have large feet. You got kangaroo feet. Jackie's got kangaroo feet, everyone. Everyone look at Jackie's kangaroo feet. Everyone, look. She's going to go hop around like a kangaroo. Everyone, Jackie Goldschneider, a kangaroo.
So for the second time, because at first Marge goes, you know what, you got slippers for people? Well, some people have hooves, so you better watch out for the slippers. So now Rachel's like, I've got a 9. She goes, oh, I didn't know that. You know what? But you know what I said earlier? I said that some people have hooves. Isn't that hilarious? Nobody really reacted. Even the recappers who had it written down right in front of their face ignored it. But you know what? I'm going to say it again.
Some people have hooves. Guess what? You know, I'm going to start calling Jackie Shaquille O'Neal. Get it? She has large feet. Very huge, very huge. I know yours are big too, Rich, but Jackie's are big and in a way that's very, very point outable. Okay, that's hilarious.
Hey, Jackie, did you hear someone dropped out of the presidential run? I think you should run, and you should run as President Hoovser.
You know what, Jackie?
Speed job.
Jackie is very good at taking over people's jobs because she really knows how to fill out those people's shoes, if you know what I'm saying. Her hooves, so big, so big.
So then Fessler comes in and she's talking to the driver. She's like,
Oh, thank you for the ride, my friend. Oh, wish me luck, won't you? Wish me luck, would you? Wish me luck, please.
he's like, I'll do that. Please get out of my car.
He's like, I don't know who you are.
I'm an Uber.
Big teeth. I only see teeth. Wish me luck. Trying to sleep tonight after I think about your teeth.
So inside the house, the women are chatting it up and talking about Cosmos, and everybody's making small talk. It doesn't really seem that awkward at all, actually.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nice.
It's like it feels like a deeply unfun party because you know they can't play music probably because they're filming and the lights are up really bright and they're just sort of like in this like. Sort of like their house is sort of empty. I don't know what it is. It's like cold. It's emotionless. And they're just sitting there trying to do fun things. But first, Rachel pulls Fessler to have a chat. She's like, will you walk with me? It's like, okay. She goes, have you eaten anything? She said, no, I'm not that hungry, but this looks amazing, Rach. Okay, let's have a conversation. I want to let this all go. Okay, I don't want it swirling around my head. I'm just done with it. Here, I have to say it. I slept with big pussy too. Oh, it feels good to get that off my chest.
So they basically talk and she's like, listen, I'm trying to defend your husband. And Rachel's like, but like, seriously, you're bringing him up on camera. And she's like, but I didn't want to hurt you. She goes, but I do understand that I did hurt you. And she's like, but I understand that I made you feel bad. I'm sorry. I love you. I like you. And then they hug.
I was distracted this entire time because I couldn't help but notice that Jen Fessler had this big green mark under her lip. Did you see that? It was like a green soul patch. I don't know if something went wrong with her makeup or maybe this was shot after the fruit roll-up scene and presented out of order, but she had a splotch of green here the entire time. I'm like, how do you have this heart to heart? And Rachel, you don't say a single thing like, oh, you know what, Jen? Yeah, why don't you give her the thumb? Give her the little thumb like that. You know, you give like, here, let me wipe that off of your chin. You just
real friends don't let friends walk around with green spots on their face.
Yeah.
I will say Rachel was forgiving and everything, and she said she's sorry and all that, but she did not seem to be over it. She was just kind of looking at her like, still hate you. So,
well, and also, I don't think that Rachel seemed to even understand how her reaction was honestly a bit of an overreaction. You know, like Jen Fessler definitely She should have just been like, whatever, I'm not going to get involved with this. Jen Fessler was trying to be a peacemaker in some way, defending, but also be a peacemaker. And maybe she maybe stepped over too much. But then Rachel had way too outsized of a reaction. And she was really mean to her friend.
Yeah, but she was trying to play both sides of it, I think, Fessler. And I think when Fessler says at the end of this, she's like,
basically, this group is so toxic, it leaked onto us. And that's what basically happened. We just learned it, and how can we not? We just copied everybody else.
and I think in a way that is true because it's like they're on a housewife show and they're like, we have to do this and this, I have to make up with these people because we're on a housewife show. And then I have to talk about this storyline because we're on a housewife show and I have to fight with people. And then they get caught up in it. And it's like, at the end of the day, there's no one to really coach you and tell you you're doing it right, And I think they just, you gotta keep the people on your team. You gotta have somebody on your team. You can't just go in there swinging at everybody.
And you're kind of compelled to take sides, I think, on reality TV. I think you're sort of drawn to have an extreme reaction. And I think that she was like, you know what, we got a little caught up in it, which I thought was a very accurate thing. So then Chrissy, the lipstick reader, joins the group, and Chrissy is going to do some lipstick reading. I've never even heard of lipstick reading. Look, all these things are a little far-fetched for me. Palm reading, coffee reading, tea leaves, all that. I'm like, it's fun, but like, okay, whatever. But now lipstick reading, I don't think you can really learn anything from a lipstick kiss.
No, this isn't a real thing. This is just people making shit up.
Yeah.
This is just people making stuff up. So Jennifer is like,
Are you a psychic? What, baby?
she's like, I don't claim to be a psychic. I'm an intuitive empath. Choose a color, give it a smooch, and I'll read your personality based on your lip imprint.
Bill, is that you?
Is that Bill and Drag again? So
I just wanted to come. Every time you go out and have fun with the girls, you just leave me alone on the couch in front of the bed. I mean, let a boy live.
So then Rachel gives us a really interesting backstory on her life. I've never done a lipstick reader before. I wanted to do it for my bridal shower, but my mom did a make your own perfume bar instead. I like to have things at my parties that not everyone else has. So I thought it would be perfect.
Make your own perfume party? The fuck kind of terrible idea is that?
Awful.
That is horrible. That is horrible. I'm sure that Marriott hated your ass after you left because it still smells like terrible, like sardine,
blackberry and powder, baby powder. Those perfumes that smell like baby powder? Those are truly the worst perfumes in the entire world.
I used to wear baby powder deodorant. You would have hated it.
Baby powder on its own, like I don't love the smell of baby powder, but it's like fine. But when it's like baby powder perfume, and I don't know what the brand is because it always smells so terrible. The last thing I want to do is, hey, what sort of perfume are you wearing? But it's just that awful, cheap, like disgusting scent. You know it when you smell it.
Yeah.
Why do people?
I don't know. I love that smell personally. I don't know. Maybe it's like missing my childhood or just wanting to fix my childhood, but it's like too late. But I still want to smell like it could. Maybe.
It's your black cookie.
Maybe I'm like, I could still go back and make everything right. Right.
I'm a baby.
Right. But then at the end of the day, you're just BO all over again. It's like you're still almost 50 and everything's fucked. Okay, back to the show. So they're getting these readings done, and then Marge is like, does lip filler affect the lip reading at all? Because every one of us is going to have some problems with that. Let me ask you this, Missy. Okay. Does lip reading have anything to do with people who have hooves?
I'm not saying that anyone here does have hooves, but one person here could play in the NBA because her feet are very large, which denotes that she has a tall height. But the irony is she's not very tall at all. I'm talking about Jackie. Why is no one laughing?
Oh gosh. So they get some like very basic things, and Chrissy does Marge, and she's like, do whatever your heart desires. Beautiful. Here's what comes up. You're romantic, you're passionate, you're letting all the good things in. I feel like you've come so long because there was a time when you were very closed off and you wouldn't let anyone new come into your life, especially after being on this earth for as long as you have. Older than a cedar tree in a public park. She's like, wait a minute. Cressy bitch.
You remember what it was like to see a penny farthing going down the street, and now here we have Teslas. What a life you've seen. She's like, excuse me, I'm not that old, okay? So Fess like, oh, that was the first laugh I've had in like 3 days. She's like, okay, all right. Melissa, are you ready to go? Melissa's your turn. No, I mean, Melissa, you say something. Okay, you ready to go, Dolores? Okay. So anyway, they're just like they're all talking. I don't know. It's a lot of crosstalk. Jennifer Aydin has read, she's read Jackie's book. She's like, so is it selling? Is the book selling, baby? She's, yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a New York Times bestseller, but it's not. That's okay. And Jennifer Aydin's like, ha, not everyone can be Teresa Judas, baby.
She's like, turns out it was a lot harder than I thought. I mean, that's okay. It's okay. I'm not really upset about it, you know. Never let Rand forget about it, but whatever.
Jennifer Aydin and Lala can have a support group.
Yeah, don't you know that those go to number one because you're supposed to buy all the copies? Aren't you a zillionaire? Buy all the copies. That's what you're supposed to do.
Buy them all.
Yeah.
So now the cake, Danielle shows up with a cake, and it's like a homemade cake, and she made these little figures that represent the women and just made them all smiley faces, and the one that's Jennifer is like cocked over to the side and falling off the edge of the cake. Marge's like, okay, is this one Jennifer, the one that's falling over?
This was so funny to me. And she goes,
No comment. Was that intentional?
and she's like, oh my God, Dolores, stop. Okay, it's just a joke. And Danielle's like,
Listen, I must have hit a bump on my whaley, okay? That's what it was.
and Aiden's like,
It's all right. I'm not eating that cake anyway. I don't need that cake.
this shit was so funny. I was cracking up. And Danielle tells us,
Listen, I'm going to behave myself today at this party, but am I going to do something to the wheel jet? No, come on. But did I do something to the cake? The wafer cake on the representative? You bet your bottom dollar, bitch.
I just also want to point out that this entire empty space in the upper right-hand corner, that represents my dad. So, by the way, I love how much this show really does exorcise demons through dessert. Like from the sprinkle cookies to this cake, it's just a great tradition that this show has.
throwing Siggy's cake across a restaurant. I mean, they never stop.
They take care of a lot of stuff. So now they play some games. They do some champagne bongs. They do this like fruit roll up strip thing where they're like pulling up. They're gonna eat the fruit roll up, and Jennifer Aydin starts early. And they're like, stop it, Jennifer. And she's like, sorry, baby, it disintegrated my mouth. And Dolores goes, it's not her fault. She has the saliva of a Komodo dragon. That was for you, Joan.
Hey, wait a minute. Leave Joan out of this, Hubsava. So, do Komodo dragons have a lot of saliva?
They're poison. Don't you remember the story of what happened to Sharon Stone's husband that got bitten by a Komodo dragon?
No,
when
what was
they went
it?
to the San Francisco Zoo. They went to the San Francisco Zoo, and I don't think he had his sneakers on, and they said, you got to wear sneakers, or something like that, where he had an open-toe sandal. The Komodo dragon, he wanted to see the Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon got spooked. I mean, or just excited. I mean, Sharon Stone was there. That Komodo dragon's like, everything I got, gotta eat something. And it bit his foot. And it was like it was a major issue for him. It's like one of my favorite Sharon Stone stories. Sharon Stone has so many wacky stories. She got electrocuted once because I think it was her. Like she was like lightning struck her house, and she was near her toaster and she got zapped. And then there was the time where she's being interviewed and she started bragging about how the Dalai Lama was her friend. I mean, it goes on and on with her. But yes, Komodo dragon is part of Sharon Stone lore.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
But Jen sure got that thing in her mouth really quickly and swallowed. It was pretty impressive.
And then wait, what made Dolores laugh so? Like at one point, Dolores laughed like I think it was during this game. Dolores thought something was so funny, and she goes, ha, 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 ha.
I think it's when they start talking about sex, because they all sit down and they're like, okay, Marge's like, let's play a game. What's the move your guy puts on you to have sex? Mine is Joe says, I promise I'll be done with the living room by 2032. Gets me wet every single time. And Rachel goes, all my husband has to do to want sex is walk past me.
Well, because you have an off the boat Italian like I do. Welcome to the fucking club. Hey, What makes you know it's like coming right now? Well, the shirt's off and he's walking towards him and he said, hey, pretend you're a door and I'm 20 years old. I'm going to bust you down and bust in you. You know what I'm saying?
I would pistol whip everything inside of you.
In a sexual way, I mean.
So Melissa's like, Joe just says you're pretty. And I'm like, fuck off. And then Fessler's like, oh, Jeff is more like, hey there, Carmela. Finally gets me.
And Mars, okay, he's like, hey there, and you get moist. Oh, that'll do, panty dropper. That'll do.
Yeah, some of these stories, I'm like, wow. This is it's kind of creeping me because Fessler does say that her husband just comes up and goes, hey there, and just kind of like nudges her. Hey there.
I get so horny. So they're just going on and on about like this and that, and they're talking about like what gets them horny, etc. And like Margaret, then Dolores talk about they just opened up they asked Dolores how business is going. She's like, it's good. Our computers arrived. I have my desk. So now I walk from my desk to the water cooler and back to the desk again. It's very good.
One time I was walking from the desk to the water cooler to the kitchenette to the desk, and Paulie put out some Pop-Tarts, and I walked from the water cooler to the kitchenette to the Pop-Tarts. I said, Paulie, this is too many goddamn things to stop at, Paulie. But he's learning. There's too many points on the map. She's like, talk about getting electrocuted. Like, four stops. There's 4 stops on my walk. I can't. So then they start talking about, they're like, so Dolores, do you guys have sex on the desk? And she's like, I don't mix my business with pleasure. Don't shit where you eat. You know what I mean? That's like mixing pleasure. It's so gross. And then Jennifer goes,
Yeah, you know what I do? Milk that prostate, baby. Milk it.
like,
Too soon. Hey, did you get a PSA on that prostate before you milked it? I can't be careful. Be careful what you do.
what the hell? And Fessler's like, you milk the prostate? And Marge goes, what does that mean, milk the prostate? She goes,
Yeah, milk it. Milk that prostate, baby.
and Danielle's like,
She said she milks her husband's prostate. How do you do that? Is it like tap, tap? Is it 2 fingers up?
What you do is you stick a finger in the butthole and you go reach far in and you wait for him to go,
just like that, baby.
and then you find the button and you press it and then that milk comes right out, baby.
I'm sorry to interrupt everybody, but I think I could raise your lips a little bit harder. Jen, is that your name?
Bill, go home. We all know it's you.
Well, I should have known something to do with cock would bring everyone together. Maybe I should have hired male prostitutes. I don't fucking know. I'm like, actually, you should have. That would have been hilarious. So, by the way, I just want to say before we pivot into the next little bit here, I did look up the Komodo dragon thing with Sharon Stone's husband. It happened in 2001. And she was with her then husband, Phil Bronstein, and Bronstein was on a private tour of the zoo on Saturday. When he entered the Indonesian lizard's cage, the zookeeper had asked him to remove his white tennis shoes to keep the reptile from mistaking them for white rats. And then I don't know if he did take off the shoes. Maybe. Oh, no, he did, because the reptile attacked his shoeless foot, crushing his big toe and thrashing the body around. And that's according to Sharon Stone, who witnessed the attack from outside the cage, and he was able to pry the reptile's mouth open and escape through a small feeding door. And then he went into surgery because of that. So that was Sharon Stone's experience.
But here's the thing. Nowhere does it say that the man's foot was covered in a ton of saliva. The question was, do Komodo dragons have a lot of saliva? And you're like, yes. Don't you remember Sharon Stone's husband getting his foot almost eaten? Was it covered in saliva or not? You're missing the point of the story here, sir.
Well, the zoo actually, this was Sharon Stone's version of it. But apparently the zoo had a different tale to tell, and apparently they got it all wrong. But whatever, we won't get into the
Sharon Stone's such a nut. I heard her on Oprah's podcast one time, and she was like, Oprah, you know how she takes everything so seriously? She's like, Oprah, you have changed the entire world, girl. And let me just tell you Oprah's like, well, what'd you learn during COVID? Because this was during lockdowns and stuff. And Sharon's like, here's what I learned. This was so nuts. I sat down with my family and Oprah, let me tell you something. We talked. She's like, really? Yeah. because that's apparently what you do. We actually just talked. It was crazy. I mean, Oprah, have you ever asked your neighbor how they are? It is just insane. People talking to people. I'm like, Sharon, that's what most of us do every day of our lives. Sharon Stone was so shocked that she had to speak to somebody else in the world. She couldn't get over it.
God bless her. God bless. God bless. We're so lucky to have Sharon Stone. Anyway, let's wrap up this thing. So Dolores tells everyone, you know what? Since we're in a sisterhood mood, let's fucking catch the sun while it's shining. And and tell you what, what Jen and I talked about, okay? We're talking about having a little retreat together. Who wants to go on a retreat? What sort of retreat? The sort of retreat where you see Jackie's giant hoof coming down, you got to retreat, otherwise you get crushed to death? Is that kind of what you're talking about? That was for you, Joan. Another one.
Listen, I wanted something close so we could drive a few hours away, all right? We had a beautiful time last year when we went to Ireland. There's so much goodness here. But you know what we are? We're cracked. Okay, we're broken. And I don't see any fucking reason why people should be this angry at each other. Okay, we got to get around this, but it's all up to you guys. And Jackie's like, you should be mature enough to be in the room with somebody you don't like and be nice to them, even the ones who didn't buy your book, because your book is not a bestseller, which isn't really anybody's fault except all of yours. So I'd just like to say thank you to all of you bitches, and you're probably not going to invite me on this trip anyway. Go ahead, disinvite me right now. Hey, Dolores, would you invite me so you could disinvite me in about 5 seconds, which I know is coming? Go ahead, I'm used to it.
I just want to say that we are actually very broken as a group. We're almost as broken as any shoe Jackie tries to put her foot into. Okay, she has hooves. She has hooves. Big feet. Enormous.
We're about as broken as Jen Aiden's jaw's gonna be if she ever fucks with me again. Fucking ugly outfits. That's for you, Dad. Dad, you there? Dad? I just looking out the window, hoping my dad's gonna pop up his face and say, "Fuck yeah, you told that bitch."
I've been here all along. So Jackie's like, yeah, you should be mature enough to be in the same room with someone. And Dolores is like, yeah, because you know what? Once you make believe a little bit, it starts to become natural. Fake it till you make it. Am I right? That's how I get along with Frankie after I got divorced. Because who wants to listen to that guy? Saliva falling all over your face every time he says the word platypus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do say. I say I fake it sometimes. I say I don't really want my fingers up Bill's butt right now, but then he starts mooing like a cow until he's done being milked. And I say, you know what? That was worth it at the end of the day.
And Melissa's like, yeah, I've done that with Jen Aydin a couple of times. Oh, Melissa, I didn't even realize you were here. I didn't know. You're still on this show. Okay. Because, yeah, no, I am. And you know what? I just fake it. I fake it with Jennifer. I pretend like everything she says is actually funny and interesting. And it turns out you do it enough. It is kind of amusing.
And Jen's like, yeah, it works, baby. And so Dolores is like, well, listen, I'm going to be transparent and truthful. All right. This is also about at least trying to fix things. Can we do that? And Jennifer Aydin's like,
are you inviting Teresa? What kind of fixing are we doing? You inviting Teresa to this time, baby? That's what I do when somebody doesn't invite Teresa, guys. I want everybody to note that and tell Teresa I just did. I'm so mad at everybody for not inviting Teresa. Okay, that felt really good. Thanks, guys.
So she's going to try to get Teresa there. So they're like, in the spirit of healing, they all do some shots, some lemon bomb shots, limoncello bombs. And Melissa's like, open your mouths like the little hose that you are. Woo! Pajama party.
Yeah. So that's that. They're going to try and have a retreat. So who knows what's going to happen? I imagine this is all going to go to shit once Teresa has her party of gather round and let's hear what an asshole Marge is.
Right. And Margaret's going to be like, well, I'm not going to go on a trip with her. She's she's a stupid little skank. And then it's going to turn into World War III and it's all going to fall apart. And it's all going to culminate in a dinner or a luncheon at Rails with broken glass on the floor.
Yeah. Actually, the one who is called the skank is Marge, because in the coming next week previews, we see Louis. Jim is there going like, let's talk about Marge. And Louis like, this woman's a fucking skank. Classy, Teresa always, one thing that's consistent is she will always pick a classy man to be with.
Always.
All
right, everyone. Well, luckily you have been listening to 2 classy men in your ears. And from one classy man to another classy man. Fun times today. And we will catch you later this week. We got Winter's Crappens coming up, as well as a million Bravo shows. So go check those out, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. Everybody.
Bye.
Watch what Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.